Hey everyone, Marathon Hurdler here, back with some more Final Fantasy VIII. As I said last time, I went ahead and learned the Encounter Half and Encounter None abilities for Diablo, in addition to learning Status Magic Refine. It took me a little less than an hour to do so. I got a little lucky and ran into about 6 or 7 T-Rex Rs in a row, so that was a easy 60, 70 AP right there. But even without running into all those T-Rex Rs, you should be able to do this within an hour or so, and more often than not, you're going to run into plenty of T-Rex Rs to learn those abilities pretty quickly. Now I have him learning HP Junction. You could also learn Mug if you wish, but as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm not particularly concerned with that ability. I have Siren learning the Magic bonus ability, which you get by learning Magic 20% plus 20% and Magic plus 40%. I have Ifrit learning Strength bonus. I have Shiva learning Vitality plus 40, and Quetzalcoatl, who's learned HP and Vitality Junction, is now learning Magic plus 20%. In addition, I managed to get enough Dino Bones by fighting those T-Rex Rs to get 100 Quakes for all four of my major characters here. So let's see. Let's actually go ahead and throw Triple and Quake on there. I haven't. So Quake is actually a pretty solid spell to use for your strength, your magic, or your HP, but we're going to get a spell in just a little bit that's going to be even better for our HP. So I've chosen to leave Quake on my offensive statistics there, but you can do whatever you feel is best for your own playthrough. So one other thing I want to do before moving on is I want to go ahead and go back into the card mod ability and just modify a couple things here. Let's see, let's get Mystery Fluid and Spider Web and a couple Cockatrice Pinions. Might as well refine a bunch of these Magic Stones in case I need some more Cura spells. Let's see, there's something else. We can modify this Creeps card. I think there's one, a Tri-Face, an SAM 08G, and I think that is all I can really modify for now. We'll want to modify some more cards later, but for now this will be sufficient. So what I've done is I've modified a bunch of items which can be used to teach Kista's various blue magic spells. So that's her limit break. I don't think I've shown it off yet, but just as in any other Final Fantasy game, she can use abilities that enemies can use by, well, in this case, using items on herself, and then when she uses her limit break, she can then use those blue magic spells. So let's resort our items there. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to use Status Magic Refine to refine a couple of, there we go, some breaks. As I mentioned before, we're going to be using the break spell to avoid getting experience when we fight human enemies. You could also buy some softs, but I happen to get some cards by I happened to get some Cockatrice cards in my play and when I was playing some games off screen, so I figured might as well go ahead and do that. Now, the last thing there's a couple of things, there are two other things we want to do before we start our first mission, so let's go ahead and head over to the train station because that's where we're going to be finishing all that stuff up. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to start another side quest, one involving the Queen of Cards. So what we want to do is we want to play her. Hopefully she doesn't play any stupid or wacky trade rules on us here. Let's see. Yep, okay, she's playing the difference rule. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play the mini mod card, and then we're just going to play a bunch of trash to go with it. Let's see. What cards don't I care about? Oh, I should have refined one of those. Do that after this game. And, yeah, that'll do. Oh, she's playing with pretty awful cards too. Well, I'll just put the mini mod card right in the middle. So yeah, what we want to do is we actually want to lose this game because we want to let her take the mini mod card. That's how we'll start this side quest. And basically, the way the Queen of Cards side quest works is you let her win a rare card, then she'll travel to some other region, and when you do, and basically by giving her some rare cards, it'll give you the ability to get other rare cards, and some of those cards are very important for what we want to do in this Let's Play. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. But yeah, the mini mod card is the first card that she needs. Not sure how you're supposed to know that, but there it is. And if we get lucky, hopefully she will go to Dalet. Yes, there we go. So got it on the first try, so now we don't have to worry about that later. The last thing we want to do is we want to come to the gift shop here and buy some tents. And let's see, I got 5 right now. I think I need another 10. And we can afford to buy, let's buy 12. Yeah. So the reason we want to buy tents is because we can use the life magic refinability on those tents and get, oh, I don't have enough, do I? For some reason I was thinking I was going to get 20 pure, 20 per tent, and that is not the case. Okay, that's fine. But, so what we're going to have to do now is, I'm going to actually have to sell a magazine in order to be able to make up that money. So we're going to sell the Occult Fan #1. I guess before, I haven't shown that off yet, so before I sell that, I'll go ahead and let you see what's inside. Nothing really important here, just some guy talking about seeing a monster and, you know, hearing a loud impact sound and steel pipes. So, yeah, it's a hint for another side quest, but we'll talk about that more when that comes up. You don't really need to keep it, and in addition, we'll have the opportunity to buy the magazine back later, so I have no concerns about selling the magazine right now. But because we definitely want to get those, okay, I gotta pay attention here. But we definitely want to get those tents so we can get Kiragas for all of our, for our three main characters right now. So I need 13 more, and then might as well buy, yeah, let's buy 16. Then we'll have 3 tents left over. I don't really use tents that much, but you know, maybe at some point I'll need to, we'll see, but at any rate, we got all the tents we need, so we'll just use, we'll use the life magic refinability. And one other thing, now that I remember, you want to use card mod on a Gesper card in order to get, really, to me, what is the most important limit break for Kisis in the game, or the most important limit break for Kisis in the game, the Degenerator ability. Basically what it does, it's an instant death attack, but it is effective on just about every non-boss enemy in the game, making it extremely useful, and we will be putting that to good use in the near future. But for now, what I want to put to use are those Kiraga spells. So yeah, we're going to just use put Kiraga on our HP for Squall, since he doesn't have the HP junction ability yet. We'll put it on his Vitality, and it'll greatly increase that. And then, yeah, we'll put that on Selfie's HP as well. And she doesn't have any character abilities, but I believe our other characters do. So yeah, let's go ahead and put Vitality plus 40 just to boost his defense even more. And yeah, well, let's actually go with Spirit. I don't really use magic that much. We're not going to be drawing spells for a while anyway. And then for Zhao, we'll use Strength plus 40, and his strength, as you can see, is already through the roof. So yeah, this game will be much, much easier in the near future, and I don't really care about my cure spells, so I'm going to go ahead and use those now. So I think that's everything we want to do here, and so I think the next thing to do is to finally get our mission started. So we need to talk to this guy right here, and yeah, we need $3,000 to purchase a ticket, so hopefully you didn't spend all your money buying those tents. If so, you can just run around and get paid. Wait till you get paid, but yeah, once you've done that, we just walk into the train and we're good to go. I don't really... one thing that Final Fantasy... I guess the last couple of Final Fantasies have done this, but I've always been a big train guy myself. Maybe not as big as Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory, but I've always enjoyed trains, so I find it kind of cool that they have like this whole intercontinental subway train system going. It's... I don't know, it's just... I'm more the type of person who likes to stay on the ground when I travel, so trains are just perfect for me. Yeah, this train looks really awesome, so I wouldn't mind riding on this line, on this railroad. So himself being Mr. Tour Guide, giving us all the information here, and Squall, as always, is not impressed. Are you really surprised by that, though, Zell? Huh, that's an interesting system. So you need the ticket to get in the train, but then you also need the ticket to get into the cabin. Or maybe it's like a first class cabin where you need a ticket to be able to access the first class cabin. And Selfie's super excited. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and check it out and see how the train looks. Do we need a ticket again? Oh, so that's why we needed the ticket. Okay. So this is our private cabin. And apparently it is first class, given Zell's reaction. Then again, Zell's always that excited, so maybe I shouldn't... Yeah, Zell's always that excited, so maybe I shouldn't read too much into that. And Selfie's singing a song about trains. Okay. Sure. I guess she wants to start a band, so you gotta practice her singing when you get the chance. And Zell is bouncing on the chair like a 2-year-old. Do you really think Squall is going to be impressed by that? See, you just set yourself up for that one. Oh, the Pet Pals Volume 1. Yeah, you get that automatically for just getting on the train. Don't really know what we're going to be using that for, but alright, we'll take what we can get. Yeah, this isn't bad. I wouldn't have minded the third bed, though. Nope, no, I don't really know much about Timber. Alright. Makes sense. Ah, those Galbadians. Always invading people. I don't know why they can't just stay at home. Always gotta be trying to mess some stuff up. Maybe Timber has a communications tower. I'm guessing we're helping one of the small ones. Alright. Yeah, I don't think that was a compliment. Really don't think that was a compliment. Uh-oh. Ocean sickness? It'll get you every time. Yeah, that's really the only way to deal with motion sickness. Huh. I don't know if that's... What, Zell? It's like Zell maybe isn't doing too well? Yeah. Oh, this is... What's that noise? This isn't good. This is... Huh. This is definitely not good. And unfortunately, Squall couldn't even fall on the bed there, so he's stuck on the floor, I guess. Sucks to be him. I wonder what that was, though. Doesn't seem like that was a coincidence that we all started feeling bad at the same time. And who are these guys? Looks like we are controlling some random people here. We got a guy, Laguna. I think there might have been more dialogue there. There probably was. Yeah, and all the other dialogue boxes are just question marks. I don't know if I mentioned this, but when you have the kind of grayish, like that kind of black, gray text box, that's supposed to be what someone's thinking, not what. That's not something that's actually being said. Oh yeah, they are dressed like Galbadian soldiers. So Laguna, Kiros, and Ward. But where are their helmets? Huh. Something's odd about all this. Oh yeah, and another thing I didn't mention is I've equipped the Enc-None ability on Laguna slash... Well, I guess I should point that out. So the junctions have switched over, so Squall matches up with Laguna. Then you have Ward and Selfie. Don't know why that is. And then you have Kiros and Enc-None. So I've actually equipped the Enc-None ability on Zell slash Kiros. You can run into some random encounters here, but yeah, I don't have to worry about that now. So that's really where the convenience of the Enc-None ability comes in. Because now I can basically just run anywhere I need to go from point A to point B, and just skip basically any random battles for the majority of the rest of the game. Because at this point, I'm really not going to be doing any other sort of grinding for the rest of it until we get to the end of Disc 3. So it'll be nice to not have to worry about that. And the spells that we have will basically last us really for most of the game, and then the other spells that we need, we'll get them from boss fights. But we'll talk more about that in the future. Apparently Laguna is a lightweight. And alright, man, calm down. I don't know. Someone tell me if I am wrong here. It's been a long time since I played the original PS1 version. I'm playing the downloaded version from the PSN. But I don't remember that dialogue being there in the PS1 version, where he's talking about, and I'm going the wrong way. I don't remember that dialogue being there in the PS1 version, where he's talking about, oh, don't call her the piano lady, and they were making fun of him for drinking juice and stuff. For some reason, I don't remember that. Maybe it's there. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't want to say overthinking it, but maybe I'm just misremembering it. But yeah, I don't really remember that being part of the game. But all right. So yeah, here we are at the Galbadia Hotel, which is where we were supposed to go. I got distracted talking about the differences in the versions and completely missed that there. But yeah, all we're going to do is just going to go downstairs, and then we'll be in another cutscene. I think we need to talk to her. Yeah, let's just go ahead and sit down. But unfortunately, that's going to be a lot of the rest of the game. The first portion of the game is really where there's a lot to talk about in terms of battling certain enemies or bosses and whatnot. But now that we got the Enc-None ability, we're going to spend a lot of time just kind of progressing with the plot. There's just not going to be a whole lot of fighting, with the exception of a boss fight. So yeah, hopefully you guys are ready for a lot of story, because that's what we're going to be getting for an extended period of time here. Getting a couple of drinks after being out at war, that makes sense, I guess. Ah, Julia. I'm assuming that's the piano lady. And clearly he has a crush on her based on how intense and how intently he was defending her earlier. And despite that, apparently he's never even talked to her before. That's a pretty heavy crush to have on someone that you've never spoken to before. Alright, now you can go walk around and talk to some other people, but as I'm not really interested in doing that, so we're just going to walk straight to Julia. And we get to watch Laguna make his pass, I guess, at Julia. I don't see this ending well for him. Really don't see this ending well for him. Yeah. That's about what I expected. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Yep, just walk it off, champ. Stretch it out. Nope, you don't want to walk on a cramp. You want to stretch it out. It's not going to go away that way. Oh no, he's coming back. Oh boy. Oh boy. Just stop while you're down, man. Yeah, I really don't think that was definitely not impressive. I don't know what you were going for there, but apparently he can run again now, so must have been a stress cramp or something. I didn't see him stretch it out though. You should get that checked out. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Exactly. Your performance, you gotta be a little more confident if you want to be cool. Just approaching someone doesn't make you cool. Pro tip for picking up ladies or guys or whoever you're picking up. Typically, you want to try avoid cramping when talking to them, if at all possible. If you start cramping, the best thing to do is probably to walk away and then stretch, make sure the cramp's fully gone, and then you can come back and try again. All right. Uh-oh. Come on, Laguna. Use your words. And he's... Where did this cramp come back? When did that happen? He was just fine 2 seconds ago, and now he's cramping again? Okay. Don't listen to... Come on. Sit up. Sit up, buddy. Seriously, what is he thinking? You have to use proper posture, Laguna. Make eye contact. Don't stare at her feet. I'm not sure if you're okay. So it is a stress cramp. You couldn't tell. Again, you couldn't tell. I don't know if he's buying that story. Wow. I guess ignore everything that I just said about picking up people. Apparently the way you do it is to cramp up. I've never tried that technique before. But if you're watching this, I guess if the next time you're interested, you find someone you're attracted to, make that, go ahead and go for it. Try to cramp up and see if it works out. And that's not awkward at all. Come on, Laguna, you about to say that this is a slam dunk. You really cannot screw this one up. Sounds good. Let's do it then. I wonder who that is who has those thought bubbles. It can't be Laguna. Though based on what he's saying, yeah, I'm thinking we can guess who's doing all this thinking here. All right, Laguna, you're not doing a great job so far. There we go. All right. Again, we could talk to some people, but I'm just gonna skip right ahead. I wanna try to keep this video at a reasonable length, so come on, there you go. Thanks, receptionist. Thanks for helping us out there. All right, fancy room here. Better than a Motel 6. All right. Try the bed. That's very forward of you, Laguna. A little confident, are you? Yeah, that's probably more appropriate. Take the chair. Alright, so now we get to control Laguna, and we just come back and talk to Julia to keep the scene moving. I don't think he was trying to leave. I wasn't trying to leave. You don't say. Once again, you don't say. How could she not see you? You sit at the table like right in front of her. This dialogue right now, I know it's supposed to, I'm guessing it's supposed to be an awkward scene, but this is a little ridiculous right now. Why would you go there? Like, why would that be the first thing that you came up with? If I were having a conversation with someone, that would not be the first thing that I would say to them, especially if I wanted to not make them nervous. Anyway, time for a little wine, I guess. Wine always loosens you up a bit. But I thought Laguna was a lightweight. I can't see that working out too well for him. You don't want to get drunk on the first date. Pro tip number 2 for dating: don't get slammered on your first date. People would never find that impressive. Pro tip number 3: perhaps you shouldn't invite people out drinking with your bros the first time for a second date. Pro tip number 3, wait, is this 3 or 4? How did I lose count already? Pro tip number 4: make sure that you let your date actually talk, like a little. I mean, when you're responding to your own statements, that's, you know, you're talking too much. Now, see, this is another thing that I don't remember being in the PS1 version. When I did my test run, I got this scene, and it threw me off because, and again, anyone who watches this video, let me know if I'm wrong here. I thought in the original version, Laguna says something like, "Oh, I'm talking too much again," and that's what he says. But in the PSN version, it seems like obviously he was in bed and he was drinking wine, and she kind of had the creepy "I'm watching you" vibe going. So yeah, I really think that they changed. I don't know why they would change little scenes like that, but I honestly, as far as I remember, do not remember these scenes being in the original version. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, though. Doesn't everybody? Very few people who play instruments. I mean, if you're going to be a piano singer piano player at a club, I imagine you probably have ambitions at singing as well. Well, hire Laguna as a songwriter. If there's, see, there you go. Use Laguna as your inspiration. Now, this is one thing about this game that kind of throws me a bit. So, for anyone who's played this game, I'm sure you guys know that the central idea behind this game, or one of the central themes, or one of the core storylines, is the love story between various characters. And you know, there are multiple love stories, triangles, whatever, that are going on at the same time. And this is one of them. But the thing that throws me off about it is, it just seems so fast. You know, I know Laguna has been watching her for a while, but then seriously, Julia, after never speaking to this guy, comes up and says, "Hey, you know, come to my room," which, hey, that's fine. Do what you gotta do. But then when they get there, they end up talking all night, and now she's like in love with him, and she's like watching him sleep and saying, "You're so precious when you're sleeping," or whatever she said. And it's like, I don't know, it just seems a little over the top, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. That's the thing. It just seems a little bit too much for me. But maybe that's how relationships really work. Maybe I'm just taking it too slow, playing it too conservatively. Once again, maybe all the pro tips I've been giving you are completely wrong, and you want to follow the Laguna approach to falling in love in one night. That's just not how things work for me. Anyway, now we are outside that little interlude. Yeah, we gotta figure out what happened there. Yeah, we should really be careful. We are helping a resistance movement. It wouldn't surprise me if Galbadia had spies in Balamb or something. We should talk to someone about that soon. But we're all good. We're all in good shape right now, so yeah. We'll just wait till we get to Timber and see what happens when we get there, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Our dream was weird. It was kind of amusing. So yeah, that's the confirmation that Squall was dreaming about Laguna. And apparently so was Selfie, I guess. And Zell as well. That's a rhyme. That's a very odd coincidence. Yeah, it seems like there are more mysteries piling up than anything else. Yeah, Zell, tell me. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess Squall feels the same way. Alright. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. Talk to the adults when we get back. The people who would actually know what's going on. That's what the announcement said. I'm pumped. Squall probably isn't as pumped. He's pretty low-key, but... Yeah, Squall's not as pumped, but... It's okay. So now we are gonna go ahead and arrive in Timber and... get started with our first mission. I can't wait to figure out what we're going to be doing. I really do think it would be cool if we could have a intercontinental train system like that. It's really not feasible at all, just because of for any number of reasons. But the idea at least is cool. It'd be pretty nice if you didn't have to fly across the ocean to be able to get to another continent. Then again, if we're doing underground, the claustrophobia would be just as brutal. I think of the two, fear of heights or fear of flying and claustrophobia, I am way more claustrophobic now that I think about it. I wouldn't be able to handle being in the middle of the ocean, knowing that I'm surrounded by nothing. Oh, there's our informant. You could say something else, and you get a little scene where they get confused or whatever, but let's just go ahead and say the right thing just to speed this up a bit. So yeah, I guess we're in, and we're gonna move over to our base. Okay, we'll follow you. I don't see anything though. Ah, so they have a train. So they can afford a train, but they can't afford to pay up to get seed. To get more than 3 seed members. I really think that they need an accountant more than they need mercenaries right now. Figure out that budget system they got going. It's just something doesn't seem right about that. But yes, we are. Yep, and here's our crew. Yeah, that's not gonna work out for you. Squall's a little... It's almost like he's a hypochondriac or something, or a germaphobe. And Zell, as always, is getting dissed. That is kind of messed up. We did meet Watts already. Okay. We got the princess. That's a weird way to. That's a weird name to call someone. Really? We're gonna go wake up our. We're gonna go get your quote unquote princess. A little bit, actually. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, maybe we're a little too harsh on him, but that's fine. Alright, so what we want to do now is we want to actually play this guy right here. We want to play some cards against him. And what we do want to... And so one thing I should have mentioned is, now that we're in a different region, we have a different set of rules. In Enc-None, they play with the same rules. So I actually don't want to play... Well, actually, I could have played that game. I don't know why I didn't play that game. But what I want to do is I want to give the open rule to spread. Sometimes when you play in... Sometimes when you play in a new area, such as we're doing right now, the rules from the region that you're coming from will carry over to the area that you're playing in. So in this case, hopefully the open rule will spread. Now this guy has a rare card that I want to try to get. So let's see if he'll play it right away. Nope, he won't. So if this doesn't work out, so if the rule doesn't spread in this time around, I'll probably end up having to skip ahead until, I guess, whenever we're able to get the rule to spread and I have a chance to get the rare card. But yeah, as you can see here, not a very good player. He's not very good whatsoever. And our cards are so good at this point that it's very easy for us to dominate and do whatever we need to do. So yeah, that's pretty good there. It usually doesn't take that long for the open rule to spread, and I've never seen it. There we go. The open rule is spread throughout the region. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to play him off screen until he plays the rare card that I want. Alright, we finally got him to play the rare card we're looking for, the Angelo card. It took me a little while to get him. I think maybe all that good luck that I had getting the rare cards to show up earlier is finally, I guess, starting to catch up with me, but we got him to show up nonetheless, and yeah, let's see if we can go ahead and win that card. Put that there. We pretty much got this game in the bag. Huzzah! Alright, now, yeah. Yep. We have it. Now, one thing I should have mentioned, while I still have this screen up here, is there's a new rule, the same rule, and the way it works is if you look down the bottom row, for instance, if a card is put down that matches the numbers on two different sides, for example, if that Blobber card in the middle had matched the Marlboro card and the Ifrit card on both sides, then it would flip both cards over. In addition, in flipping those cards over, there was a chance that it could have flipped over other cards depending on those numbers, and they can set up a chain reaction which could screw you up. Like, I mean, it rarely happens, especially when you have good cards, but it's just something that you want to be aware of. Just, you know, because sometimes you'll find yourself putting a card in an awkward position, and that's when the same rule will typically bite you in the butt. The other thing, the reason why the difference trading rule is being used here in Timber is that while I was off screen, I played before this episode, I played about 10 or 12 games in Balamb Garden. I actually did that for a side quest that we're going to need to do later. You can play those games any time, but you need to win about 15 games in Balamb Garden at some point. But one thing that happens with the trading rules is if you play in a given region for an extended period of time, that region will become the dominant region. And sometimes that will lead to other regions adopting the same trading rule. And so without even without even paying attention, I think I apparently made Balamb the dominant region, and since they have a different trading rule, that trading will also pass over to the Timber region. But that's all I think that's going to be everything I'm going to do here today. Next time we will figure out who this princess is and get to work on our first real mission as a seed. Until then, this has been Marathon Hurdler. I want to thank you guys as always for watching my videos, and hopefully I will see you next time.